Hey, Brian from Strong Tower Fitness in Minnesota. Excited to be part of the Functional Aging Summit this year. This is part 2 here with Jim, and we're going to cover lower body peripheral nerves today. So working on some neuromechanic drills for the lower body. Fun stuff.
Yes.
Obviously important for function. So we're going to go ahead and start out with the femoral nerve. So the femoral nerve innervates, helps with the quads and hip flexion. So have you stand maybe against, just close enough to the wall to hold on. And then we'll do a straight leg raise. So I just want you to bring the knee up and then extend the knee straight out. We'll go for about 20 seconds here. So 2 things, I'm looking for the height and endurance, and then also subjectively want to ask the client for feel. So like if one starts to cramp up, that might be the side where we need some more femoral health or femoral nerve health and mobility. So let's go left side, same thing.
I can tell you already, cramping. No.
It's left.
Yeah, left side.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes it easy.
Yep.
All right. And kind of lean in a little bit. Okay. So let's go ahead and bring
that one much more here.
More so in the groin area. Okay. All right. So for the femoral nerve, we got our left side that we're going to work on. We're going to go ahead and put the knee up on the chair.
Left or right?
Let's go left knee up. So two versions of this. So the first is if we actually get your foot to go through here. Yep. So for clients with less mobility in the quads, you're probably going to want to keep the leg down. You could even do this one in a lunge position. We're going to then go pelvic tuck. So first piece of the tensioner is pelvic tuck. Femoral nerve comes out of L2, 3, 4. So we want to focus on those spinal segments and driving some of the movement. So then we're going to rotate away from that side. Yep. Trying to maintain that posterior tuck in the pelvis. Step on the chair here. Then we can also go lateral flexion away. So, yep, kind of like a rotation and then a side bend or a lateral flexion through here. Yep. So posterior tilt in the pelvis. Try to draw the tail under a little bit more. There we go. All right. And how's that?
Good.
Okay, 3 out of 10?
Yes.
Just staying in that? Okay,
Yep.
come back up. So again, remember, 3 out of 10 for intensity on these. We don't want to push clients past a subjective 3 out of 10 for the intensity because we don't want to overstretch or injure nerves. We want to make them healthier, help with the mobility, but not take it too far. So if we go then into the slider for this one, that was the tensioner. Let's go ahead and use a side bend and the pelvic tuck as the kind of coordination element. So we're going to rotate away, and then as you side bend, you're going to let the tailbone drive out. So anterior tilt, and then as you come out of the side bend, do that hard posterior tilt. So try to maintain rotation. So we're going to go rotate away, yep, and then come up out of the side bend and hard pelvic tilt, posterior tilt and tuck, and then go side bend again and release the pelvis. Nice, and then come up and hard tuck, keeping the rotation. Yep. Let's go ahead and retest to see if we did tensioner and then slider, what kind of response we get.
I can already tell you it's better.
It's better? Okay, sweet. Awesome.
Good?
Good. So, solid. That's what we're looking for. From there, we're going to go to Obturator. So let's do a kind of like the standard split groin stretch type of deal. Let's drop in, and you can actually hold on to the chair there and get as much range of motion as you can, making sure you don't go past the point of no return.
Okay, we're going to be right there.
And then as you drop into that, is there more tension right, left?
More tension left.
More in the left again. All right, so we're going to stick with left. Obturator is fairly similar to the setup. We're still looking at spinal segments L2, 3, 4 here. So the only difference is I'm going to have him elevate the leg a little bit more and try to get more into kind of like the highlighting the groin stretch type of position. So we'll go left leg up on the blue box. Have you go facing the camera. So I'll just swivel this. So left knee can prop up here. Yep, good. You're going to take a big step over to the right to get kind of that groin stretch going. We also want the lead leg far enough forward that this hip is slightly extended. So we want the femur to actually angle back. So go ahead and shift forward a little bit more with the right leg. Good. And then from there, the mechanics are similar. So we're going to tail tuck, rotate away, and then side bend away for the tensioner, and then come back up out of it. Let's actually try to bend the right knee a little bit more so we drop into more of a groin stretch type feel on the left. Good there. All right. Jim's solid, balanced, fairly flexible, mobile guy. If your client really struggled with any of those qualities, we'd probably want him against a wall so they can hold on to something stable. He's doing a great job balancing here. Let's go ahead and then go similar slider. So we're gonna go rotation away, tailbone tuck, and then as you side bend, you're gonna release the tailbone tuck. So come out of the pelvic position, keep the rotation. So I'm gonna try to keep those shoulders rotated. Good, come back up, and then tailbone tuck, nice and hard. Yep, same thing, couple more. Good, and then up, good. Are we still getting the groin
Yes.
kind of highlighted there?
Yep,
Okay,
especially
good.
on the up.
All right, perfect, good. Let's back out of it, take a deep breath. Good, and then let's retest. Get the chair back out there for you. Let's retest the stretch that we started with.
Probably should have marked my feet, huh?
Yeah, here we go.
I can tell you it's
So-
better.
It's better, okay, yeah. See some additional width there, good.
Yes.
All right, awesome. So from there, we're gonna move into the saphenous nerve. So jumping back, actually, just quick note on the obturator. Anybody with kind of consistent hamstring pulls, groin pulls, really good one to work on. And then saphenous is anybody with medial knee pain. So if you have clients with medial knee pain or any issues kind of on the medial side of the leg, even lower leg, this is a great one to work on. So for this one, we're going to do a little bit of side-to-side sensation testing. So we have skin or cutaneous distribution on the medial side of the lower leg below the knee. So Jim, if you have a seat here, and then I'm just going to touch the inside of the right leg and ask you, does this feel like this? We're going to do them at separate times, so we're not overloading the nervous system or confusing his brain with doing bilateral. So does that feel like that?
Yes.
Good. Does this feel like this?
Yes.
Does this feel like this?
Yes.
All right. Well, what are we going to?
I don't know. I would say if anything, it felt a little heavier on the right.
A little heavier on the right, okay. So let's do a couple lunges actually, just get a feel for that. So a squatting pattern, a lunging pattern is another good kind of test, retest for saphenous here. Yep. And then any difference in strength or knee comfort versus discomfort either side?
More comfort on the left,
Okay.
on the knee, and
Less on the right. Okay, okay, cool. All right, so for saphenous, let's go with the right side. We're gonna go ahead and set up a balance pad. This could be a pillow or a shoe. We're gonna put the right foot on it, and you'll be facing the camera with your right foot here and your left foot lunged out here towards my left hand. Perfect, good. So we wanna turn the foot about 45 degrees and get the pinky toe propped up on the pad. From there, gonna drop in the big toe to the pad and see if we can actually get that whole instep of the foot on the floor.
oh,
So bring the heel down. Yeah, perfect, good.
that.
Yep, so just the pinky toe propped up. First piece here is that we're swiveling, he's already got it, but swivel the pelvis forward. So we're rotating away from that back leg. Perfect, yep. So we got a fairly extended back knee. You could even maybe increase it, yep, by straightening the knee a little more. And then with a hard posterior tilt in the pelvis, we're gonna rotate away from that back leg. So similar mechanics to the first two that we did. And then go ahead and go side, yep, side bend. And you get some stretch either groin or maybe down towards the knee,
Yep.
inside of the leg.
Yep.
Okay,
I say right,
cool.
right through there.
All right, cool. So that's the tensioner, and then again we could coordinate side bend with tail tuck. So as you side bend, you're gonna release the tail tuck, and then hard tail tuck as you rotate and side bend away. Here. Yep, there we go.
Rotate.
I think I got it backwards. There we
I
go.
know.
Yeah, good. So tensioner, everything together with the tail tuck, and then slider, we're releasing the tail tuck as you bend away.
Going across.
All right, good. So quick break there. Palpation point for this one. If I have you go ahead and have a seat a second, and we'll do one more slider, and then we'll retest. So if we go finding the crease in the knee with the knee flexed, you're gonna go about 4 finger widths above the knee crease. right in between the quad muscle, so VMO and the hamstring musculature. So we're digging in there, and it might be tender, and usually it's surface level here, skin level, so we don't have to dig in very deep. I have a Z vibe, so just high frequency vibration, mobile device, and like to use this a lot of times to get a positive response just with some vibratory stim on the peripheral nerves. So let's have you actually set up in that nerve glide again. So right foot propped up. Nice.
Too close, it gets off the camera.
All right. Thanks. Big left lunge. Good. Straight knee on the right. So I'm going to come in with the Z vibe and just give you a little bit of stim while you get into, let's try the slider. So taking the tailbone out and then tailbone tuck as you stand it up. Nice. Good. Also doing a little bit of knee bend here. So releasing, yeah, as you go side bend. So another driver could be the knee. Perfect. All right. And then let's relax out. And let's go ahead and retest lunges. So do a couple forward lunges. Let me get that, again, side to side, right left comparison.
Definitely better on the right knee.
Better on the right now. Okay, nice. Good. All right. So from there, we're going to go to the tibial nerve. Tibial nerve is really important for the lower leg, so gastroc. If we want the calves to function well, we want to work on the tibial nerve, keep it healthy, and also the muscles in the arch of the foot. So for this one, let's go ahead and have you have a seat. And I'll scoot you up a little more actually. Yep. Toes on camera. And then let's go ahead and actually slide the socks off for this one. I think that's going to be a good spot. From there, let's have you come up against the wall. A good test for this one is kind of like a standard calf raise, so we could have you on a box or a step. For today, let's just go on the floor. So face this way, hold on, get up as high as you can onto the ball of foot. Nice. So if you come in and look for heel height here as a coach. So I don't know if it's easy to see on camera, but left one's coming up, left heel is coming up higher than the right. Also just a little bit, really great definition on the left calf. Not quite as much on the right. So we would say if we want to make the right side more awesome, that's probably the side to work on. So go ahead and come back down. Nice. Let's have a seat. And for right side, just have you comfy prop the foot up there. And so for the first palpation point, let's have you do the tensioner first. So we'll stick with that. So come all the way up to the edge of the seat, and we're going to extend. Oh, slide back. Sorry. There. Awesome. All right. Good catch. Straight knee. So go ahead and lock the knee out. Pull the toe up. Then we're going to evert the foot here for the tensioner, and then come into a little bit of kind of spinal upper flexion, then getting almost into a little bit of flexion even in the low back. So working your way down the spinal column into flexion. Once you have that 3 out of 10, you stop there.
Yep.
Okay. So the things, again, tensioner, we're here, 3 out of 10. And then when we want to start a slider, we're going to release tension at one end. So we could go ahead and drop the foot and release there. And then go ahead and pull the foot into tension and back out with the upper or lower part of the spinal column. So go ahead and drive back into it. Nice. And then foot pulled up. Good. Keep the knee locked and come back up and release. Nice. Good. Awesome. Good. Let's go ahead and retest. So we'll do the, after the slider, let's do that calf raise. Yep. Let's see what we get there. Good. All right. Good. And then come back down. Let's go back to the tensioner. We'll look at palpation points for the tibial next. So first palpation point, we're going to want to have the knee bent. We're basically going to chase the gastroc up, finding the medial head of the gastroc, and then moving into the Papillary Fossa in the back of the knee. And if we push medially towards that medial head of the gastroc, right in between the two heads of the gastroc, should find tibial nerve. Feel nervy, yeah? All right. So go ahead and get into the tensioner position. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of compression here. Just go ahead and straighten the knee. Good. And then let's kind of drop into it nice and easy. And then as you come up, let's use the knee as a driver this time. So, yep, as you straighten the knee, hinge forward, spinal flexion, and then we're backing up into spinal extension as the knee locks. Sorry, there we go. All right, and then forward, yep, perfect. Release the knee and lock, extend. Yep, flexion in the spine, release the knee, really good. Let's do one more there. Good. And good, relax out. So we could come in there with the Z-Vibe. 2 seemed effective on the last one. Let's recheck quick. So go back to the calf raise. All right. And so heel height has improved. Feel a little bit more definition right calf. So we're getting a stronger contraction in that gastroc. It is maybe dropping a little bit. So we might be hitting a fatigue point, but the initial drive up was definitely better. Let's go ahead and do the Z-Vibe. So come back in, and from there, so second palpation point for the tibial nerve. If you find the medial malleolus, so finding right kind of at the point, and then we're going to drop straight down from that to the calcaneus. And you're on it. Or we got it. All right. So,
Got it.
all right. So from there, I'm just gonna kind of first palpate the nerve, and then go ahead and set up with the Z-Vibe. Let's go ahead and pull toes up. Good. And then keeping it at a 3 out of 10 intensity. Let's go ahead and slide it too. So up tall with the knees straight, perfect. And then bend the knee as you hinge forward, nice. Good. Let's really pull the foot into good eversion there too, nice. Good. More or less intense compared to the last one behind the knee?
More intense.
More intense here, okay. All right, interesting. And then vibration, okay, kind of intensifies it, cool. So let's go ahead and check the calf raise again. Right. Nice. So solid on the heel height, and then let's relax back down. Think calves are going to be sore tomorrow?
Maybe.
Maybe, we'll see.
I'll know why they are.
Probably not. You'll know if it does happen. All right. So moving on to the sural nerve. So the tibial nerve runs down the medial side of the leg, kind of behind and then below that medial malleolus. The sural nerve runs down opposite side of the leg, down the outside lateral aspect, and then wraps underneath the lateral malleolus. So for this one, let's do some sensation testing. So go ahead and have a seat. We're just going to test sensation on the outside of the ankle. So the sural nerve is a sensory only nerve. It doesn't have a motor component, but it gives us sensory information about where the outside of the ankle is in space. So does that feel like that?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much the same. Okay. So we don't have a lot to work on if there's not a sensation difference, but we're going to walk through it. So if you had less sensation one side, or have you had ankle sprains is another great question to ask. More ankle sprains on one than the other in soccer? Or?
Yep, broken ankle on the right.
Okay, so maybe we'd stick with work on the right here. So I'm going to go ahead and prop the foot up. This one's very similar in the setup to the tibial, but we're just changing the foot, you got it, from eversion to inversion. Yep, absolutely. So from there, let's go into the tensioner first, toes pulled up, inversion in the foot, and then find that 3 out of 10 stretch.
Right there.
Good? Okay. Taking a couple deep breaths there. All right, good. So then palpation points, we're coming into the lateral malleolus here. If you go just superior to it, towards the Achilles, and then this one sometimes based on the client's anatomical structure, how their Achilles and ankle is structured, sometimes you need to dig in kind of deep. Jim's nodding and saying, oh, it's a little uncomfortable, so that's kind of the nervy feel. So let's have you do the slider this time. So we're gonna bend the knee while you hinge forward. Yep, nice. And then come up and lock the knee. Great foot position, keeping that inverted, toes pulled up, good. And again, gentle compression, we could come in with the Z-vibe in this spot too. We're just superior to that lateral malleolus, pushing in towards the Achilles tendon. And good, let's relax out. Maybe just walk a little bit. Good. Coming back. So let's go ahead and have a seat. We'll retest even though there wasn't a major difference. Yep. I'll just see, so if we go, is that good? Like that?
Yes.
Okay.
For the most part, yeah.
All right. Any difference compared on the right side compared to where we
Softer
started?
on the right.
Softer
Yeah.
than previous.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So we got a little bit of change there. I would say a softer and kind of a hopefully a heightened awareness is what we're going for.
Yeah.
If somebody did have a challenge or previous injury
Maybe
in
less
that area.
sensitive would be a better word.
Less sensitive? Okay, awesome. Good. Lateral side of the ankle is the most commonly sprained with the lateral roll of the ankle. So sural nerve oftentimes can be affected there when scar tissue forms post ankle roll, ankle sprain. So good one to work on, especially if somebody struggles with balance. Peroneal is the next one. So the peroneal nerve is important for pulling the foot up, preventing drop foot in gait. So if you see somebody that drags their foot or they're not getting the toes to pull up, probably want to work on the peroneal nerve. So for this one, let's have you go ahead and have a seat.
All right.
And we're gonna go, let's go left side.
Okay.
Right leg, I've been getting a lot of work. All right, so we're gonna come in, this time into the Papillary Fossa again, behind the knee. This time tracking more of the lateral aspect of the head of the gastroc up. And then if we press laterally, found it?
Yep.
Okay. The foot position for this one, we're gonna wanna have the pad out, the heels comfy today. So from there, we're gonna extend the knee straight, scoop or invert the foot, yep. And then toes pointed on this one, so difference between sural and peroneal for the tensioner, so we're dropping the toes, almost curling the toes if possible. So I'm just gonna stick with light pressure here. Let's go ahead and come forward as you bend the knee. And so this would be the slider, really similar, toes curled a little more, nice. Really similar to the sural, but with the foot pressed down. Where's the nervy feel for you on this one? Yeah, okay, top of the foot, good. So another good test for this one could be sensory to the top of the foot. We could do a muscle test where have you push up. So if you press, yep, press up, and then we compare right to left just for the muscle test. If you went into the tensioner, so we'll take the palpation off, let's go inverted, toes pointed, yep, and then come in. And then for this one, you can internally rotate at the hip too, so that's typically gonna highlight it a little bit more. And then if you externally rotate at the hip, that should release it out of it somewhat. So more tension on the internal rotation versus back out in the external rotation. Good. All right, so that's the lower body. We did it.
We did.
Hopefully you're feeling amazing.
I am. Standing.
And guys, if you have any questions for us, please feel free to reach out. We do have a Neuro Training Foundations course available, so if you're digging this type of material and you want a little bit more of the brain-based science and doing more work on like the visual system, the brainstem, the cerebellum, and digging into some of those areas, please check out the course. And thanks again for the Functional Aging Institute for putting together an awesome event.